I have a good friend and a great poker player alongside me in a figurative manner. It is Parker Talbot, better known to you as Tonka. Also, by the way, Tonka, you and I, we each get two €25 give outs.
Oh, that we can give to anybody.
Anybody, as long as they have a run at once account, obviously. So whoever impresses you in chat gets it.
All right. Well, usually it's the other way around. People just, disappoint me in chat. It's kind of rare that you get big time impressments. I know it's not a word.
I know. I think you know what? If it's not a word, it should be a word. I'm going to use it.
Should be a word. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Galfond was.
That seems super reasonable.
Galfond really impressed me yesterday as well.
They're gonna give it to themselves. I mean, they did say you can give it to anybody. I might give both to myself, honestly, and that'll have a €50 buy-in for some 50 NL. I might hop in.
You can just stream right underneath, and we'll watch all three of you. It'd be great. I would sweat that.
Maybe I'll donate to the person who disappoints me the most.
So, are you still never lucky, or are you occasionally lucky these days?
Oh, everybody, what's the saying? Even a blind squirrel gets a nut.
That is the saying.
Yeah, that's me. Occasionally they even let me sneak one in, but for the most part, things never change. Another river race. Oh no, sorry, this is a turn race. Yeah.
Yeah, 21,000 in there already.
Venividi has said the full amount.
It is about 11,000 back over to Phil. Pot is 21.5. There's a call. This pot is 32. River really kind of meaningless.
Complete brick, yeah. Which I don't know. I was gonna say should favor Venividi because Phil just called, but maybe that's wrong.
But Venny just checked.
Yeah, super interesting. I have no idea with a 25% SPR on the river, what kind of traps he might have here. But I was feeling originally like Phil was going to be the one with more draws, just because he didn't put it in.
Check.
Wow, yeah,
can't tell me tens are good.
Tens are good.
Tens?
Yeah. So Phil did have more draws, and Venividi was just giving up.
Though I feel like I'm getting better. It's not. I'm not gonna lie though. This is a challenge. I've done a lot of commentary in my life and going back and forth between two tables and being like, okay, who won and what the hell do they have?
A fast-paced PLO, yeah.
Yeah, 5 figures over on table number 1. Board pairs, couple of spades, couple of diamonds out there. Still kind of needs this one.
Really wish I hadn't missed a flop and pre-action in this hand. Tiny bet makes sense on the jack. If he's going to be continuing, I think if this was a 3-bet pot, Phil will likely have a little bit better coverage of the top pair, but not too
Diamonds
much.
Get there. Pot is 16-2.
Yeah, diamonds definitely going to be relevant, even though it's a paired board. If this was indeed like a 3-bet pot, I would say people are going to have, or they're both going to have a lot less of the 7-5-4. So Venividi with the big turn wager and then another check on the river, leaving it up to Galfond, seeing if he takes the bait. He does go for it.
He's all in. Pot is 28, 12 to call. Georgia Dog, you're right. Tomorrow is Chat Pro Saturday. There's the call.
And he's good.
Then he had the jack, right?
Just a jack, yeah. Jack 10-9-8.
We're about 1/3 of the way through this challenge. Can Galfond turn it around? He won about 90,000 euros yesterday. He has given back 2/3 of that today. It's been a rough first hour.
You were commentating yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it a bunch of all-in pots, or was Phil just kicking ass? How was it going down for the most part yesterday, or did it feel like?
It was a mixture, to be honest. I mean, it appeared that Phil won about 60% of the pots, and at times he was kind of dominating the action. Again, a few times Venividi was kind of making inroads into Phil's stack was when Phil was bluffing with blockers and Venny was kind of stubbornly calling off, or Venny just happened to have a big hand.
So yeah, maybe I wonder if Phil is bluffing more or if Venividi is bluffing less. Because it feels like we don't, or Phil's calling less, sorry, versus Venividi. Because it feels like we simply don't see Venividi showing down nearly as many bluffs as Phil. We have a pot on the river and a repot.
Yep.
On the second table, and Venividi is potting the turn in position. Phil was
2
bluffing
5-figure pots here.
Phil bluffing into a boat there, I believe.
No, I think it was boat over boat. Did Galfond hit a set on the river?
Oh, did he? I might have missed that.
Check that one out on table number 2. If you can replay that one. I think that was just a cooler situation. I think it was, Phil rivered a boat. I think it was just a cooler situation. And Phil has been talking about how he feels like he's running into it.
You're right. Definitely, you're right. My bad.
Big pot on table number 1. So was that just a cooler over at table 2?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. I mean, Jack 10, 10, 3, 6, and yeah, it's a cooler. Definitely.
Table number 1 is now up to 28,000. It's 12,000 to call. Does Phil want to call it all?
Oh, geez. Yeah, but I was thinking about
pot.
that 6 of hand. So you asked if it was a cooler. He could call down, I guess. I'm not really sure if he could just. It feels like that hand is strong enough to raise.
We're starting to get some chips over on table Toronto.
7K pot?
We got a 14K now. Pot size bet from Galfond over at LA. There's a all in.
I have seen Phil do this a few times as well, where he folds the turn off of a what would seem to be, to a recreational's eye like myself, an unreasonable spot to be pot folding.
I would like at least a few people in the chat, though, to actually go into their local poker room and say, "Hi, I'm Parker.
I'm here to play the 1-2 game and then never lose 20 buy-ins."
We have not seen a 40K pot yet. We have not seen a 4-bet pot, at least from what I've gathered. 3-bet pot over on Los Angeles. We'll see bet here from Venny. On the ace-queen-5 board, he's going to take it down. 7,200 over on Toronto. Check. Action on Galfond. According to the chat, the most Phil has been down so far. Peak loss moment. 625. We got down to about 605 at one point today.
Yeah, very rough start, man. It's unfortunate to see for sure. Venividi has made a lot of good hands. I'd love to see some analysis on that Queen 10 10 8 hand. At some point from somebody smart. I hope somebody.
I'm sure we can clip it and send to somebody who knows what they're talking about, right?
I hope somebody smart at some point lets me know.
Venividi has bet pot over at Toronto. Galfond in the tank.
Call.
Call.
And 2 pair. Queens and 4s. It's going to be good, I believe.
Yep. Queens and 4s. Venividi once again up over 600,000 total.
Birthday hat yesterday was the birthday of Run at One's Poker. Its first birthday. 1 year.
Three-bet pot over on table LA. 5-figure pot on table Toronto. Once again, well, you got a big pot here and this right on the flop. So you're the chance of there it is. There's your all in on the flop. You wanted it.
I found it.
40,000. Could this be a top set?
Venividi has a straight.
Oh no! You got to be kidding me. Oh, you got to be kidding.
Was that a gut shot? He had 2 pair and a gut shot. Is that what happened?
Get a raise here from Phil over on table Toronto. A bet from Phil on table Los Angeles. 2 7,000 euro pots developing.
I'd say both reasonable situations in terms of boards for Phil. I mean, the turn ace is generally going to be pretty good as for him as a 3-better. And I would assume Venividi is going to have less 6x than Phil Galfond, raise calling. Not necessarily, again, it's heads up PLO, you're 3-betting lots of hands. He's going to have a bunch of hands that he wants to 3-bet with like a dangler 6 in them or some low rundowns and whatnot. But again, would assume that, yeah, Phil does have a little bit better coverage of 6-6-3.
Pot size bet on the turn from Phil.
Don't think it would be outlandish.
Yeah,
I don't think it would be outlandish to assume that he has 5-4 here. I think he could have 5-4 for sure, Galfond.
Yeah. Venividi 3-bet, put a C-bet out there, got raised, called the raise, and has check called. Diamond on the river.
That is a very dicey river for Phil. Yeah, and we do see the lead. Yeah.
And there's the lead. Pot is 52-7. 14-5 to call. Technically, the pot is actually smaller than that since Phil only has 14-5. So pot is more like about 40,000, 41,000. If Phil calls and wins, this will be a 40K pot.
So Venividi repping aces here, or I guess
a flush.
Some kind of king queen combo with the king high flush seems pretty reasonable as well.
I mean, would he do this with a flush as well?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
And
I really don't know.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Nathan's just
big raise here on all in. We have an all in.
Oh, 41,000 chip pot. Could this be a 40K?
It does not look like that's going Phil's way.
No, Galfond's got aces, and the pot is over. Oh, yeah. Man, more the same. Okay, no big deal, no big deal. Get back on that horse, Phil.
Guys, tiny bet fold river is almost the same as check fold river. Why do you not notice check fold river but only notice tiny bet fold river? Well, tiny bet fold river costs you, 6 to 8 big blinds every single time you do it, and if you never protect that, you're losing 6 to 8 big blinds instead of nothing when you check. So it's definitely something that is relevant to be picking up on. 3-bet pot C-bet here in LA from Venividi.
And a raise.
Looks like Phil is looking to run it.
Yeah, he is not folding here. He's got 3,800 behind. There's the all-in. Let's see what he got there. Jacks. Oh, no, he made the straight. King Jack.
Yeah.
He made the straight. What did Phil have?
He had top 2.
So top 2 versus jacks and a gutter, right?
Yeah.
3-bet pot over in Toronto. I mean, I would tell you that when I'm commentating, I very rarely cheer for somebody, unless I've been commentating for like 8 or 9 hours, and then I'm just cheering for the guy who has the other guy covered, so it can end. But I'm not gonna lie. But after yesterday, I was rooting for Phil. I was like, okay, let's put 2 together. Let's make this a match. Got some chips going in here on the flop. Queen 10 deuce. A 3-bet from Venividi, a C-bet, and then Phil has raised.
So we did see Phil take this line before and fold to the jam.
And there's the jam
again. And Phil doesn't. He does not put it in. Okay, so here we go.
All in once again.
2. That is not Phil. That is not Phil.
It looks like ace king for Broadway.
Yep, gets it in with the worst of it and takes it again.
Okay, so I'm curious again if you can go back on this and somebody can let us know when the money went in on the flop, what were their equities?
Pretty close. But I think let me see the hands. Queen 10 deuce, and it was ace king queen. Ace king queen for Venividi.
So you had top pair and a gut shot?
Yes, and Phil had, I'm just catching up to it. Phil had, I believe, queen jack 10-8.
Yes.
Yeah. So he had top 2, so Venividi needs a jack, an ace, or a king. So yeah, it's not that many outs. Or backdoor hearts. Backdoor draw as well. Yeah, jack and ace or a king. So pretty thin again.
So like 57-43 type thing? Phil in the lead again?
Probably worse.
Wow.
We can do it. We can do it here.
Well, it looks like Toronto shut down just for a moment. So we'll nope, Phil is sitting out here.
Maybe having
taking a little break.
I'm curious with this one because I think Phil was like a pretty reasonable favorite on that hand.
Phil just said good game. I think they're wrapping up. Yeah, so
Phil is
shutting
it down for the evening.
Yeah, he is just Phil's calling it a day here. And you can't blame him at this point, can you?
Definitely not. No. And yeah. That was rough, man. I mean, he lost 4 all-ins where he was a clear favorite, I believe. I believe one of them might have been like a stone even flip, but I mean, he got it in once with like 85%, 87% on the flop, one with about 65, and then I'm just gonna, check this one ultra quick here.
Do that, and I'll go through the numbers right now. 469 hands. That's how many we played today. We went for about 3 hours, and in 3 hours, it was absolute carnage. Unfortunately, Phil Galfond, Venividi up 266,000 euros, over 13 buy-ins. Total winnings now nearly €750,000 for Venividi. Session 13.